Hey guys, OG Albini here, bringing you guys another Draft League tier list video. For those of you who have not been awake or around the last week or so, you might not know it, but the Pokemon Legends ZA DLC just dropped, which means a ton of new Mega Pokemon have also hit the streets. I'm sorry if you can hear the dogs bark in the background. There's probably like a mailman there or something. They're just losing their minds. But with that being said, I want to go over the new Megas today, talk about what I think they can look like competitively in a single battle and Draft League context, and how good I think they're going to be, ranking them from S all the way down to D tier. If you guys are excited for another Draft League tier list video, you do enjoy these, or you're just hyped for the new Megas, be sure to drop a like on the video as well as subscribe to the channel. We're going to wait to 5K subs by the end of the year. We're getting very, very close, and I'd really appreciate it if you help me out. I can only reach that goal with your help, so if you enjoy Draft League content and, competitive Pokemon in general, this is probably your place to be anyways. That being said, let's jump into it. Now, obviously, I think like a big thing to mention is we don't know these Pokemon's ability yet. I'm not going to be talking about them from like a ZA ranked context. I don't have enough knowledge there. I'm talking about it from a traditional, turn-based Pokemon battle competitive context. We don't have their abilities yet, but once they do drop in Pokemon Champions, they will inevitably get abilities. We can talk about what we think their abilities may be, but we're going to kind of assume that, we're going to look at these without their abilities and based on their potential of, like, getting a net neutral ability, I suppose. There's always a chance that these Pokemon could be absolutely broken with some random ability that would be terrible otherwise, vice versa. We're just going to kind of go off of these first bases, the moves that they're getting, and their stats. Starting that off, I think is Pokemon I'm very surprised about in Mega Absol Z. Now, I'm going to have an A tier here. It's probably going to be towards the bottom of A tier because I'm not super happy about, like, the base power of its moves, right? Between, like, Knockoff is really strong. Knockoff Sucker, Shadow Sneak is great priority that it got. But its Ghost Stab that it got, if you didn't know, this is a Dark Ghost type, is Shadow Claw. Now, if this thing gets Poltergeist, I think that's a different conversation. You're going to have to be a little awkward between Knockoff and Poltergeist and how those are going to interact as attacking moves. But I think getting Poltergeist would shoot this up to the top of A tier as a Mega. The main reason being is they finally just min-max this guy. They said, no, we're not giving any cute special attack points, anything like that. We're going to pump up this guy's attack, and we're going to pump up this guy's speed. 151 speed. All the Z Megas are 151 speed. And what an incredible speed tier that is, right? For VGC players, I'm sure you're pumping your fists and rejoicing because Calyrex Shadow Rider is dead. Especially with this guy being introduced, nuking everything that it wants to do. But even in just a singles competitive context, right? Just being like guaranteed faster than Pokemon like Dragapult, Zeraora, things like that is really, really insane. I believe it's 156 base attack. I can double check that real quick. I'm actually very curious. Yeah, 154, so very close. Very, very strong, very min-max. We can Sword Dance up, or we can just run 4 attack sets with our stabs plus like dual priority, and the great coverage that you have on top of this. I really do like how they just decided, hey, we're not gonna try and like evenly distribute these guys. We're not gonna try and make a shitty mixed attacker. We're gonna make you fast and we're gonna make you strong. You're either gonna kill some or you're gonna die. It might not be great still because, again, I'm very worried about the base power of the moves. But, again, it's just like one coverage move away in, like, that Poltergeist, or one stab away in that Poltergeist from being a real menace. When it comes to abilities, something like Adaptability will make this thing broken. I've seen some people say that. I can also totally see Sharpness, just because it has a lot of, slicing-based moves, X's or Night Slash, things like that, Psycho Cut, things of the sort. But this Pokemon's going to be really strong, guys. Like, it's going to be ridiculously, ridiculously strong. I think it might be towards the bottom of A tier when it comes to Megas, but we'll see. Next is going to be Mega Baxcalibur, and it's going to be our first S tier Mega. And I want to kind of, like, lay the groundwork of what I am going to consider S tier for this video specifically. S tier for this video is going to be Pokemon that I think are going to be banned in traditional singles and Draft League context, right? In VGC, it might not be that good, whatever it might be, but in Draft League, this thing is going to be banned. And in Smogon singles, this thing's probably going to be banned as well, is how I'm going to, go with the S tiers. And I think that's Mega Baxcalibur. All you need to do, even if it just keeps Thermal Change, which is a pretty good ability, not like game-breaking, but not bad. All you need to do is look at this thing's stats. It get the same ability, same moves. It did get Ice Hammer, which is a really strong attack for Ice Stab. A little bit of a downside, but still a really, really strong attack, right? Ice Hammer, yeah, it's going to lower your speed. It's going to be missing. But regardless, we're just going to look at the stats. 115 base HP and 87 speed stay the same. HP never increases for Megas, and 87 speed stays the same. Thank goodness, by the way. If this thing went up in speed, Giga Ubers. Immediate Insta Uber. If it went down, it'd probably be a little bit more useful. 77, 67 speed, and it would be definitely pretty allowable. We're looking at the other 4 stats. 175 attack that is stronger than Kieran Black. There's a Mega Dragon Ice Pokemon that is stronger than Kieran Black. He mogs him. 117 defense, 105 special attack. Ridiculously strong, by the way. There's definitely, like, in draft specifically, like, mixed sets you could run that would be really, really obnoxious. Mog's regular cure him now, too. And 101 special defense. Oh my goodness, this thing's bulky. This thing is so bulky, it's so strong, it has perfect coverage in conjunction with Dragon Ices and Stabs. There is no universe where you can give a Pokemon these stats, and ever have it be allowable. Literally ever. Like, it can't happen. It cannot happen. So, it's going to be S tier. I hope you're not a big Baxcalibur fan, and you really want to use it in your next draft league, because it's just not going to be allowed. It's just really not. Next up is going to be Chimecho. I'm going to put Chimecho in low C tier right here. The reason I actually have this thing really high, and I have it like kind of highly touted, is because I think its typing is incredible. And if you look at its bulk, it's really, really solid. With 75 HP, 110 defense, and 120 special defense, alongside a great natural set of 135. And while you're not going to be like sweeping teams and running like, you know, max modest Chimecho all the time, having base 135 just to work off of, even if you're not investing in it at all, is great in today's day and age, because you're still threatening offensively, right? Psychic Steel isn't the greatest typing in the world, and you are lacking in some coverage, right? We really struggle with hitting steel types. But the natural special attack stat is going to be strong, and especially I think this Pokemon is definitely like worth drafting as like a mid-tier defensive mega, if it keeps Levitate as its ability. And I know I've heard some other things about people saying like, okay, what if it gets like a Pixelate type ability, but for Steel type moves, because it got Boom Burst and thing. What if it gets like a random Punk Rock or a Punk Rock equivalent? It's like a different name, but does the same thing. Those would be cool, but being Psychic Steel Levitate with these stats would be like, again, this is just Mega Bronzong at that point. Bronzong still sees some play and some viability despite being super stat crept out of the game. This Pokemon would be incredibly, incredibly powerful. I think something really cool about this guy is that it keeps Heal Bell. So, like, on super fat balance teams, it's something that they've really struggled with this gen, is, like, getting rid of and mitigating status coming your way. This is one of the 2 lines in Scarlet and Violet, actually, that kept Heal Bell. I think it's pretty much integral to its line and is going to keep Heal Bell for, you know, the foreseeable future. I don't see them taking it away. Therefore, this Pokemon could function as a great Cleric. I don't know if they gave it Stealth Rock in the DLC. They didn't. I really wish they gave it Rocks, but we can Wish / Recover. We can Calm Mind. We can do a lot of really, really cool things. We can Thunder Wave. We can Yawn. Ton of cool tools that this Pokemon gets as a utility option. And while it is going to be just objectively weaker than a lot of other Pokemon, I think as like a mid-tier Mega, you could totally justify this guy. I also think that there's a chance that some draft leagues could implement like a double Mega rule and have like a Mega budget like they do with Terra and Z and future generations. That might be a concept for a different video though. Let me know what you guys think, because I think that's something I'll actually probably do with BBR when I first, you know, we were on our first season with that. Next up is Mega Crab. This Pokemon's really cool, and I think it has a lot of viability in doubles. I really do think it's a lot of viability in doubles. I don't think it's worth drafting in singles. There are so many strong fighting type megas, and while this Pokemon is ridiculously strong with 157 base attack and has great bulk, it's very slow. It's very hard to facilitate and get this thing going when you don't have a partner next to it that can set Trick Room. You can run Trick Room in singles, right? You can run like your Cresselias, your Glowkings, Slowkings, things like that. But it's very hard to position that because Trick Room, you set up it for the first turn, and it's already a turn. Then you have to find a way of getting in Crabominable for free. That's another turn. You really don't have that much to work with. And outside of Trick Room, while you might be decently bulky, Ice typing is not doing you any favors. This is incredible typing offensively, not a very good typing defensively. I think its ability could make or break it. Who knows? It could be really, really strong depending on what the ability gets. But I think being this slow is just a detriment to a Pokemon in a single battle context. If you are a VGC player and you're very excited to use Crab Trick Room, heck yeah. I do think it'll be fun there. And I play a little VGC myself. I don't think it's going to be bad there. I do think in a single battle context, it is not going to be very strong, unfortunately. Next up, we have Mega Darkrai. And this is a very interesting one. This is very, very interesting because Darkrai itself is such a good Pokemon, right? It's such a good Pokemon with 125 base speed, nasty plot, incredible coverage, and then like the Mickey aspect of running like Hypnosis and Bad Dreams into matchups you don't do good. So you're playing a Tinkaton or a Klefki or whatever it may be. You sleep them and they're basically dead. You get Will-O-Wisp, you get Thunder Wave, so much status. Really, really disruptive Pokemon. One of my favorite Pokemon to use this generation. And I thought, wow, any Mega Darkrai is just going to be insta-uber, right? It's already teetering that line. Any way you boost this guy's stats 100 is going to be broken. But then they did the thing where they take its speed, or they walk up to Darkrai and they cut him off at the knees and make him super slow. 85 isn't bad. it's not bad. But a 40 speed drop on a Pokemon that had 125 base speed is absolutely brutal. Now, I do think this Pokemon will still be strong. I do. 165 base special attack. Wow. 120 attack, 130 defense, 130 special defense. Wow, that's bulky, right? Depending on what its ability is, like I see on the ZA Petmon, they gave this thing Dark Aura. Yeah, sure, go to Ubers. See you later, buddy. Like, that's ridiculously powerful. What is Yveltal's special attack? Let's see. Yveltal's special attack is 131. This thing would be ridiculous with Dark Aura. I personally think it's going to keep Bad Dreams. I remember when I was doing the fight, like the endgame boss fight at the end, when my Pokemon were asleep, they were taking damage. As if it was Bad Dreams, right? So I think it's going to keep Bad Dreams, to be honest with you. I think that this makes this a high A tier, maybe an S tier Pokemon, right? I'm willing to hear that out on this. Don't scream at me in the comments. I really am wondering how this is going to work out. With it being so much slower, but so bulky and so strong, man. And there's definitely like shenanigans you can play with, like staying on Mega when you need the speed tier, and then Megging when you need the speed tier, and things of the sort. So I do think that Mega Darkrai is going to be like a A tier / S tier Pokemon. I don't know exactly where, but man, I mean, like, I can't believe they slashed this guy's speed the way they did. I genuinely cannot believe it at all. We'll see. We'll see. Next up, Mega Garchomp Z. What the hell were they thinking, man? I mentioned it before. All the Mega Z Pokemon have... all the Mega Z Pokemon have 151 base speed. Wow. Garchomp has 151 base speed? I don't care what his stats are at that point. Assuming they didn't make him have 20 attack, it's probably going to Ubers. Then if you look at the mixed attacking stat, I think this is a mixed attacker done correctly. 141 special attack, making it a special attacker who's very interesting. 130 base attack. It is also pure dragon typing, which is benefits in the sense that, like, we mitigate like the weaknesses that ground was giving us. It gives us more resistances and things like that as well. But also the downside, we're losing stab on ground, whether it be Earthquake or Earth Power. 130 attack, 141 special attack. Really strong. And at first I was like, okay. Stronger special attacker. It's as strong as Garchomp is as a physical attacker, right? Same attack stat. Just got really strong on the special attacking side and really fast. But then you realize, oh my gosh, I don't know if this is going to carry over, but they gave this guy Nasty Plot. This thing with Nasty Plot and like Dragon Ball Draco Meteor, Earth Power, Fire move, what do you do? Or just like mixed 4 attacks hit. What do you do against this thing? I've seen a bunch of ideas for this thing ability-wise too. I saw Speed Boost, which makes sense with like the speedy like jet look that they're giving it. Which is super cool design. By the way, I think I still prefer regular Mega Garchomp. Might be a hot take, but I prefer it. But like, you're giving this thing ridiculous speed. If it gets Speed Boost and Nasty Plot, okay, super instant Uber, goodbye. But I see on the ZA Petmon right here, they have it with Neuroforce. That's also ridiculous, right? You're basically getting your stab back on ground moves that are super effective, which is covering all of your dragon attacks. And on top of that, you have ridiculous coverage between like Flamethrower and Surf and all these different special attacks that are actually really, really powerful. Yeah, really, it's, I mean, maybe not a ton of coverage, but more so that the coverage is just perfect, right? We have Draco Earth Power / Dragon Pulse for our stabs, Fire Blast Flamethrower, Power Gem, Surf, and then you can give it Vacuum Wave. Why not? Low priority, just in case for some reason something can be faster than you. I think this Pokemon's ridiculously powerful. I think there's no universe where it's allowed. It's actually way better than Bax, and yeah, we're not going to pretend like it's going to be allowable. We're not going to do it. I refuse. Again, play some Ubers. Ubers is a cool format. It's going to have a bunch of cool new Megas. But yeah, next up is Mega Glimmora, and they made the cooler Neolego. Officially the cooler Neolego. This guy got bumped up to 101 base speed, which is a really cool speed tier. Like, being able to outpace base 100 is guaranteed. So nice, especially for this Pokemon. And they gave it 150 special attack. That's really powerful. That's ridiculously powerful. Now, ability-wise, I could totally see it keeping Toxic Debris, and I see on the ZA Pet Mod they actually have it with Toxic Chain, which would be really awesome. But really, this thing is going to play the same, just with better stats. Between Sludge Bomb / Sludge Wave, Earth Power, Power Gem, and then you have your like flex coverage options of Energy Ball and Dazzling Gleam, things like that. You can Mortal Spin Pokemon, which is really nice. Setting up Spikes, Rocks, and maybe T-Spikes if you don't keep Toxic Debris, but if you keep Toxic Debris, you can kind of play it the same. One thing that would really suck for it is it does kind of lose out on those Power Meteor Beam sets, but I could also totally see this guy getting an ability that allows it to just pop one-turn Meteor Beams, which would be so sick. It would be so nasty. But I can totally see it being that it's like super modeled after the ultimate weapon. I can see it being able to throw off like an ultimate weapon type beam move immediately. Or maybe just once per battle. You get a fully charged, immediate power Meteor Beam. That'd be pretty cool. So, yeah, I think this Pokemon will be a B tier Pokemon. It still does have some pretty common prevalent weaknesses. It's not fast to the point of which it's like going to outpace everything. It's very strong. It's also, and it gains some bulk, but it's not like going to be the bulkiest Pokemon in the world. So I think it'll be a solid B tier Mega for sure. Oh, this is one of the ones I'm most excited about. This could be Mega Golisopod. I'm so hype on this guy, man. Not only do they give Golisopod a Mega, which, like, the implication is that it will probably lose Emergency Exit, which is the one thing holding this Pokemon back, right? But then they gave it a buff to its typing in Bug Steel, which is ridiculous. Now you go from a plethora of weaknesses and being Rock weak to being Rock neutral, having one weakness to fire that teams are going to have to worry about, right? If I have a pre-Mega Golisopod in and you bring in your Delphox and try and kick Flamethrower against me, I can stay on Mega Liquidation, kill you, and then pop my Mega afterwards, right? And that's ridiculous. They gave this thing U-turn, which is ridiculous. Now we can pivot with Golisopod and Mega Golisopod. So nice. It's a great spiker. It's great with Sword Stance, priority out the wazoo, first impression, Aqua Jet, Sucker Punch, all these different things. It has 150 attack and 175 defense, 120 defense. What? Like, so bulky. Ability-wise, they could really give this thing whatever. If it gets Tough Claws, it's going to be such a strong breaker. It's going to kill everything. They give it Regenerator because of the whole, like, Bug Isopod type thing. That's what they have in the ZA Pitmon. Also, ridiculously broken. You go from, like, killing yourself by switching in and being forced out to, like, wanting to switch out. You turn around, maintain initiative and momentum. You just might be better Mega Scizor here. Steel Stab-wise, that's not the best coverage in the world in that regard. Like, it has Iron Head, and, like, that's literally it. Like, that's literally it. And Metal Claw. But, like, that's fine, right? That's the stab you need. A Heavy Slam would be awesome for this thing. Doesn't get it, at least right now. And Certified 8-tier Pokemon, and one I'm really excited to use. It's probably the one I'm second most excited to use. We'll get to one I'm most excited to use in a little bit. Next up, we have Mega Golurk here. There's another Pokemon I think is going to be okay, just because of the fact that Stab is so strong. Ground Ghost, ridiculously powerful. I don't know if you've ever played like a low tier match where you play like a Golisopod or even like a Palosand or something like that, and you're like, man, I'll switch into this guy. I better not let him get in for free. Well, now we can do that, but even more with great stats. 105, 105 both. 159 base attack is really strong. 55 speed isn't great, but we can augment that with like Autotomizer Rock Polish, which it got before. I don't know if it gets now. It has Rock Polish in the ZA format, so if it gets that back in Champions, that would be a really cool tool for it. It's a great rocker. I don't think it gets spikes this gen. I don't think it got that. No, it does not. But it's a great rocker as well. Really powerful Pokemon. I think the ability will make or break this Pokemon. They could definitely like really bump it up to the extreme if they give it a really good ability. Otherwise, though, I think it will be a C tier Mega just because of the speed tier. 55 is not great. The bulk is solid, but nothing ridiculous. You do have a lot of common weaknesses, so I don't think it'll be broken, but I do think it'll be solid and definitely worth drafting for sure. Alright, this is the guy I'm most excited to use. This is the one I'm most excited for. It's going to be Mega Heatran. You look at this Pokemon. Look at this Pokemon and tell me right now that it's not going to have Earth Eater. If it has Earth Eater, this is going to be my favorite Mega to use. I don't think it'll be broken. Because no recovery at all. You lose like the item flexibility that Heatran really does appreciate. But you have a stat spread of 91, 120, 106, 175, 141, 67 speed. 67? Not great. 67 isn't great. Obviously, we're losing speed, but that makes sense. You're like a giant magma, like glob of goo with this new variant, so it makes sense. I'm okay with it. It's still solid enough to outspeed other fat things. But I'm just clicking Magma Storm, and I'm killing everything, man. It's such a good rocker. Such a good Pokemon. There's definitely like flame charts that you can pull off. This will be like the ultimate like tank Mega. This thing will be so strong. It'll be so fun. I'm a big Heatran lover in draft right now. Even in Gen 9, I think it's good. Loved it in Gen 8 and 7. I spammed that guy all the time. So like this, but he definitely needed this love to remain relevant in like singles, and he got it, and I'm super juiced. Like I love this Pokemon. I think it's awesome. Now we have a few Pokemon that are just like not going to be allowed. Unfortunately. It's gonna be Mega Lucario Z and Mega Magearna. We're gonna touch on them briefly because there's no universe where you're going to get to use either of these Pokemon ever. Mega Lucario Z will start with again 151 base speed, ridiculous speed tier. Just a ridiculous speed tier. 164 special attack. Super min-max to be a special attacker. And I think that we got a very strong hint that its ability will be Mega Launcher in one of the trailers. Because if you remember the trailer when they announced it, and Mega Lucario and Dragalge, adaptability, then Clawitzer and Mega Lucario Z, Mega Launcher, question mark? Yeah, we'll see. But regardless, like, unless they give it a detrimental ability, it's just too fast and too strong. It's just too fast and too strong, and especially if they give it Mega Launcher to buff up those moves, this Pokemon is for sure just going to be an Uber. It's for sure just going to be an Uber. Still a great defensive typing, even if it's not bulky. It's just going to hit hard. It's going to kill everything, right? Like, it's going to be really, really powerful. Then we have Mega Magearna, which is one of the most comically funny broken Pokemon I've ever seen in my life. Magearna was already broken, right? So, like, again, you gave it 100 more stats, it's going to be even more not allowable, but it's still not going to be allowable, right? Mega Magearna has 95 speed. I don't care about the other stats. They're already broken. 125, 115, 170, 115. Wow. With the best defensive type in the game, incredible coverage. Wow. Yeah, you know what? Whatever. I don't care. It has 95 speed now. Now, you can't pull off the Trick Room variants as easily, but you are going to be able to pull off those Shift Gear variants pretty darn freaking easily, right? Like, this Pokemon's already super cheese. It's going to keep Soul Heart, too. There's no way they change its ability. It's going to kill everything. It's going to be so broken. It's a mythical Mega, so, like, they didn't really care to balance it, I don't think. Because they're like, this is, like, have fun being, like, raid boss when you use this in, like, in-game or battles with your friends. Because, I mean, yeah, there's no way this thing's allowable. Also, cool little tech option that I got in ZA is Power Gem, which seems like a dumb coverage move, like, that would matter. But it being able to hit Fire type super effectively now, hell yeah. Sick. Have fun literally never using this Pokemon ever. It's ungodly broken. Like, ridiculously so. Then we go to maybe a Pokemon that's not as broken in Mega Meowstic. By the way, super sick design. I do love, like, the Iron Valiant type beat that they have. Pretty cool Pokemon. I don't think it's going to be great, to be honest with you. I really don't. I'm going to go ahead and put this guy in C tier. I think that while its stats are pretty okay, in the sense of, like, having 143 special attack, which is really strong, 124 speed, the pure psychic typing and, like, the lax and coverage it has for steel types is really just going to kind of hold it back. Whereas there are just stronger psychic type megas to use than Meowstic. So why use Meowstic, right? Is, like, kind of the way I see it. Let's look in the means of psychic type megas. You have Delphox, which is just now getting introduced. You have the Lotties. You have Mega Glade, which is, like, one of the best megas. I think Mega Gardevoir might even be on par with this Pokemon. Mega Medicham is definitely better than this guy. You know, so, like, there's a lot of psychic type megas that you just should probably use instead of the Mega Meowstic. It's probably just a lot of fast special attacking megas that you should use instead of Meowstic. So I don't think it's terrible, but I don't think it's great. It's gonna need a really crazy ability for me to, like, put this thing over the top. I think on Showdown they have it as Psychic Surge, which would be cool. But yeah, not great. Not great. Next up we have Mega Raichu X, which I think it's this guy's ability is, like, dang near confirmed too in Levitate. If you see it in, like, the game, it, like, flies around like Superman. Never touches the ground. I'd be very surprised if they did not give this guy Levitate. Unfortunately, I don't think that means much for me. Being pure electric is just so bad. And the stats just aren't there. You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm sorry. I'm putting it in D tier. The stats just aren't there. 135 attack is, like, okay. 110 speed is the same as before. It's good. It's okay. And then it getting added bulk just doesn't matter to me. It just doesn't. And I think the biggest bane to this guy is it doesn't get coverage to hit grounds on the physical side. It gets stuff on the special side with, like, Surf and Grass Knot and things like that. You technically get Trailblaze, but that's it. You don't even get bulk up or Swords in to boost your attack stat. Like, it just is very, very underwhelming. This is, like, I don't even know what to compare it to. I'm very, very disappointed by this Pokemon, and I wanted it to be better. I'm even going to put it below Crab because he just pisses me off so much. The other Raichu, though, Raichu Y, I think actually will be strong. Now, on Showdown, they have it as Transistor. I don't think it's getting Transistor. Bold take. I don't think it's getting Transistor. I do think that it will be very strong, though. I'm going to put it at the top of B tier in front of Glimmora here. 130 speed, very good. 160 attack, very good. And again, we talked about it. It gets coverage on the special side to hit grounds, which is big for electric type breakers. Surf and Grass Knot, is plenty. It also gets Alluring Voice for the dragons, right? Whereas Raichu X doesn't get any of those things off its strong attacking stat. Raichu Y does, which is really cool. This Pokemon will be really, really powerful. 160 special attack is really, really impressive, and I think definitely saves this Pokemon from being bad. Speaking of being bad, unfortunately, as much as we are Scovillains, and as much as I love this guy's design with the chili pepper tie and things like that, like full evil businessman, this Pokemon's really bad. This Pokemon is really, really bad. Now, on Shutdown, they have it with Contrary. That would be awesome, right? Like, Overheat and Leaf Storm, that would be great. I still don't think that would make this Pokemon good. They didn't make it faster. 75 speed is so bad. It's so bad when you don't have a means of augmenting that, right? With a Choice Scarf or some kind of ability or some kind of boosting move or something like that. Now, it could keep Chlorophyll, but regular Scovillain would be stronger at that point. You can run a Spectral Life Orb and you're not using a Mega Slot. And it's just stronger, right? Now, they did give it Nasibon, they did give it Flare Blitz. Cool buffs. But the 75 speed is so bad, and they kept it as like this wonky mixed attacker with 138, 138. If you just take away 30 of the attack and put it into speed, at least it's usable then, or even vice versa, make it a physical attacker. You get Flare Blitz, whatever. But the fact that 75 base speed is so bad. Just use regular Scovillain and Chlorophyll. It's just better. It's just better. I would never draft this Pokemon. I wouldn't use it, ever. Unless L5 was like, here's a free season of coaching if you use Scovillain. Then I'm down. Then I'm so down. Otherwise, yeah, I wouldn't use it. Next up is going to be Staraptor. I think this is another certified B tier Mega. Fighting Flying is a great typing. We've seen it plenty of times. Hawlucha, Gyarados, you know, things like that. I do think that, let me see, I'm pull up the stats, just make sure I'm not talking out of nothing. 110 speed is a great buff to it, right? Becoming a usable speed tier, especially being like you can't hold Scarf anymore. And then 140 attack, on top of having Close Combat Brave Bird as stab options. Really powerful. Like, really powerful. And they gave this thing a ton of moves. I actually wrote it down because I'm going to do like a short with like all the crazy moves. They give it Bulk Up and Brick Break and Knock Off and Blaze Kick and Outrage, which Outrage isn't good, but it's funny. And it has Close Combat, so it has plenty of means of like using its new stab now, on top of the fact that it, what do you call it, got set up in Bulk Up, which I actually think is really big. Anyway, because you have Intimidate Pre-Mega, and you can run like a really fat, specially defensive Bulk Up variant with like Bulk Up Roost stabs. And this Pokemon's going to be really difficult to deal with. It's going to be hard to handle. It's going to be really strong. I think if it keeps Intimidate, that'd be cool because it'd be like Intim. I see Tough Claws on the Showdown calc right here, which would also be really cool. I could see getting something like more so about raw power opposed to like it feels like the bulkier made it means like it's not going to take as much like recoil type thing, or it's not going to be as recoil dependent because it is just like big body Staraptor. I could see Tough Claws big time. Yeah, just a really strong Pokemon. I think it's going to be pretty good. Yeah, good mid-tier like flying U-turn spamming Mega. I think it'll be really good on like Hazard Attack type teams where it can U-turn around forever. Yeah, strong Pokemon. And we have Tatsugiri Mega. Now, I do think it's really fun that like whatever Tatsugiri in the middle is like the one that you're using, like form-wise. I think that's really fun. Unfortunately, this guy is just another nothing Bergamot. It's like a Tatsugiri evolution that can't hold an item, unfortunately. Now, I think it's cool. I think it's definitely like usable, so I'm going to put it in C tier. But I wouldn't use it per se. 135 special attack is good, and 125 special defense is actually really solid. And 92 speed, a little bit better, I think, from regular, what do you call it? Tatsugiri. Yeah, 10 base speed increase, which is always going to be solid. And again, they gave it cool moves like Calm Mind. It had Nasty Plot before, but they also gave it like Ice Beam and, you know, cool options like that. I think that this Pokemon will be decently strong and like usable just because of its stab combination, but they're just better Dragon type Megas, they're better Water type Megas to use than aren't this guy, to be honest with you. Now, I do think this guy's going to be cool in VGC. Again, this is my limited VGC bag coming into play. In the sense of like you're using Dozogiri, you use Dozo goes down, they like haze it, they kill it eventually over War of Attrition, and usually you're like, oh shit, I'm stuck with a Tatsugiri now, he sucks. But you can very viably run like double Mega on those teams and have Tatsugiri be your second Mega, because now you have the option to Mega your Tatsugiri, who didn't really need an item before, and becomes an immediately more threatening Pokemon just because of that Mega evolution. So I think it's really cool for VGC. I don't think it'll do much in singles though. I think it's going to be a big nothing burger Pokemon. And then we have Big Broken. Zeraora. Another Pokemon that I don't think you can add stats to and have it not be broken. Zeraora on its own is already a top tier Draft League threat and singles threat when it's in the game, despite not having the secondary typing. Obviously, a fighting typing would have been incredible for this, for like close combat and Drain Punch stab, but regardless of what they give this, whether it be keeping Volt Absorb or whether it be going to Iron Fist, which would make Plasma Fist so strong, would make Drain Punch like basically a stab fighting move. This Pokemon's just going to be too good. 157 attack and 147 special attack. Ridiculously powerful on both sides. Like, I know I said mixed attackers aren't great, but it doesn't matter if you have elite attacking stats in both. And then 153 speed. We talked about 151 being strong. 153 is absolutely ridiculous. You have incredible coverage. You get knockoff, you get Volt, you get Bulk Up, you get Calm Mind. A ton of different options when it comes to, you know, this Pokemon and like its means of boosting and getting stronger or just hitting everything it wants to. Yeah, just a very, very powerful Pokemon, and I don't see Universe where it's also not banned. I think it's like the least likely to get banned out of all these. Maybe It and Bax can be swapped, but other than that, I think this is a pretty good list. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I think this is pretty okay. I'll go ahead and leave the link to this tier maker in the description as well. If you want to make your own list, you can always post them in the Discord server. Go ahead and join the Discord server. Big shout out to Tone for making this for me as well. That's the GOAT. Yeah, that being said, drop a like if you enjoyed. So, I'll see you guys next time. Later.